Will a win over Canelo put you ahead of Mayweather as the greatest boxer of this generation?
Listen, I leave the opinions to everybody else, but like I said, after this fight, when I defeat Canelo, I'm gonna be on Mount Rushmore. That's where I'm gonna be.
The long-awaited moment has finally arrived. The clash of two boxing generations, face-to-face under one roof. On one side stood Floyd "Money" Mayweather, the symbol of the previous era, the undefeated master who walked away with a flawless 50-0 legacy. Across from him was Terence "Bud" Crawford, the modern-day phenom who stunned the world by defeating Canelo Alvarez and securing his place as the top pound-for-pound fighter this era. For the first time ever, these two titans stood eye to eye. No more fantasy matchups, no more what-ifs. Mayweather and Crawford, sharing the same stage, the same cameras, the same blinding spotlight. And make no mistake, this wasn't just another press appearance. This was a moment etched into boxing history.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah.
To really grasp how wild this face-off was, you have to rewind the clock a little. Before 2025, if you asked anyone who would win between Mayweather and Crawford, most people wouldn't even take the question seriously. Floyd was considered untouchable, the gold standard, the blueprint, the man many believed was simply the best ever.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
Nope.
No friends in this business for you.
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
I beat your ass.
But then everything changed with Canelo versus Crawford. Crawford, the smaller fighter stepping up in weight, took on a challenge most said couldn't be done. Yet against all odds, he pulled it off. He didn't just hang in there. He conquered. He didn't scrape by on points. He took control and made it look decisive. Crawford didn't just beat Canelo Alvarez. He commanded the moment.
Terence Crawford had the ability to fight backwards and stay composed, good defense, hands was always up, countering everything that Canelo was throwing at him. He was just a little more active fight. Canelo did hit him to the body, but it was pretty much all Terence Crawford.
I think some of what we saw from Canelo is what he's has to resort to now to fight. Maybe he's dealt with some injuries to where he's not as mobile. It's just the pattern that he's put himself in for the last, 6 to 8 fights. That same pattern is why Bivol was able to get him.
He did not allow Canelo to get inside, man. As soon as Canelo would get into that certain range, you would jab him. We didn't see any like lateral moves where he would throw, push off to the side as we used to see Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo was almost smothering his shot because he couldn't stay at range with him. And Terence Crawford runs off counter combinations. It would be a wider margin if they fought again.
That victory flipped the entire boxing world on its head. Almost overnight, Crawford's name wasn't just mentioned among the greats. It defined greatness for this generation. Fans, analysts, and even fellow fighters started admitting it openly. Crawford wasn't just chasing legends anymore. He had become one himself.
Thank you, GOAT, because you are the GOAT of this era. Terence Bud Crawford.
And that's where things took an even wilder turn. After the dust settled, Canelo Alvarez, the one man who'd shared the ring with both Mayweather and Crawford in their primes, dropped a bombshell that stunned the boxing world. Canelo openly admitted it. In his eyes, Crawford was the better fighter.
And lastly for me, champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
During a post-fight interview, a reporter asked Canelo a question everyone wanted answered. Champ, since you face both, how would you compare fighting Mayweather to fighting Crawford? Canelo didn't even pause before replying. I think Crawford is much better than Mayweather. That single statement sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Remember, Canelo fought a prime Mayweather in 2013 and met Crawford in his prime in 2024. For him to say that Bud was a tougher and more complete fighter isn't just a compliment. It's a statement that reshapes the entire conversation about boxing greatness.
You could take a guy like Canelo, this guy could do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk, easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
For years, Floyd Mayweather has proudly referred to Canelo as easy work, using that victory as a cornerstone of his legendary status, proof of his unmatched skill and dominance. But now, in a twist no one saw coming, Canelo himself has turned the tables, admitting that Crawford operates on an entirely different level.
You know, I didn't have to have 70 fights, or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
That kind of statement cuts deep for someone like Mayweather because his entire legacy, his very identity, is built around being the best ever. But now there's a growing chorus, fans, analysts, even former opponents, starting to place Crawford above him. And if there's one thing everyone knows about Floyd, it's that his ego is larger than the MGM Grand itself. So the moment Canelo's comments hit the headlines, Floyd's demeanor shifted. He began dropping hints in interviews, teasing that something major was coming. Not another exhibition, not another easy payday overseas, but the real thing, a true professional comeback. For the first time in years, Mayweather admitted he was open to stepping back into the ring. And the name on his mind? You guessed it, Terence Bud Crawford. This isn't about cash. It's about legacy. It's about pride. It's about Mayweather's mission to remind the world that in his eyes, he's still the king, still the man no one can touch.
Fight that fans will watch for sure is you and Mike Tyson. How's training going, Floyd? Talk to me all about this as you get ready to get back in that boxing ring once again.
Well, not really training right now.
Not yet.
You know, the fight is in 2026. We still, ironing out everything, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be exciting for the people and the fans.
Are you going in there to put Mike down and like, hey, this is not, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna throw a few punches, like I'm taking this seriously and I'm trying to fight Tyson?
I don't know. I just want to give the fans what they want to see, excitement. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be an exciting event.
But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Before Mayweather can even start thinking about a showdown with Crawford, there's another name already on the schedule. Coming this April, Floyd is set to step back into the ring for an exhibition, and not just with anyone, but with the one and only Mike Tyson.
The greatest of all time, Evander Holyfield. Mike Tyson announced he's fighting Floyd Mayweather in 2026. What do you think of that fight overall?
Well, kind of different, the size-wise. By Tyson heavyweight, and I think weatherweight.
Right.
So it's.
Is it a real fight? Do you think? Do you think fans should take it serious? Is it a real fight, Mayweather Tyson?
I couldn't think it was real. Because the fact of the matter, he's a lot bigger than the guy. So it's the weight
Makes a difference.
Let's be honest, that matchup alone is pure madness. Floyd, the master of defense and precision, going up against Mike Tyson, one of the most terrifying knockout artists in boxing history. This isn't about belts, rankings, or records anymore. It's about spectacle, pride, and unresolved bad blood. And make no mistake, the bad blood is real. Tyson has never hidden how little respect he has for Mayweather, calling him arrogant, mocking his style, and promising that if they ever meet in the ring, he's coming to end it violently. For Floyd, this fight is all about building momentum. If he steps in with Tyson and comes out looking sharp, it reignites the hype for a potential Crawford clash. But if Tyson connects with that one signature shot and humiliates him, the dream evaporates instantly. Nobody is lining up to watch a 50-0 legend, fresh off a loss to an even older Tyson, try to test himself against a prime Terence Crawford.
Speaking of boxing, do you think Floyd's the GOAT?
Oh, undeniably. I don't even think it's close. Yeah,
Okay.
As far as like an actual fighter for fight, like fight for fight, pound for pound, Floyd, how can he not be the greatest? Like, as far as like, he's never lost. He's the greatest defensive fighter without a doubt.
Not even close.
I don't even think it's a debate.
It's not a debate.
Floyd's been hit hard maybe 4 times in his career.
It's not a debate.
He's touched the floor 1 time, bro.
It's not a debate.
How do you fight 50 times and touch the floor once?
One of the all-time greats, Evander Holyfield, was recently asked about Mike Tyson's announcement that he's set to face Floyd Mayweather in 2026. When asked what he thought of that matchup, Holyfield didn't hesitate. He pointed out the obvious, the size difference. Tyson's a natural heavyweight, while Floyd spent his career around welterweight. So naturally, the question came up, is this even a real fight? Should fans take it seriously? Holyfield's take was blunt. I can't see it being real. Tyson's just too big. Size matters. And in a strange way, that makes Tyson the gatekeeper in this whole story. Before Floyd can even think about Crawford, he has to prove he still belongs in a ring with the best. So let's break it down. Why is Mayweather even part of this conversation in 2025? Simple, because he's Floyd. 50 wins, 0 defeats. The greatest offensive mind the sport has ever seen. A man who turned world-class opponents into frustrated amateurs. He didn't rely on brute strength or knockout power. His weapons were timing, precision, and an almost supernatural ability to make you miss by an inch and pay for it instantly.
Looking back at like Floyd's career, like him coming up in the era that he came up in, he had all them champions that he was able to fight, and that's what led him to be so great. You know, because he fought the most champions, beat the most champions. You know, got the most money for beating the most champions. So it's just like, man, he had this guy, back to back to fight, one after one.
Even Terence Crawford himself has acknowledged that Mayweather's defensive mastery stands alone. And when Bud speaks about Floyd, you can hear it. The tone changes. There's genuine respect in his voice, a sense of admiration for the man who perfected the art of not getting hit.
He said afterwards, you are better than Floyd Mayweather, and I know you don't like those comparisons. I know you don't like when people pitch you two together, but when you heard that, what did you think? How did that feel to hear that from someone like him?
I just was like, well, you know, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, you know, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. You know, one where he felt like he was at the best, you know, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, you know, I don't know, you know, I don't go off of that. You know, Floyd is the best fighter, you know, in his era, and I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
Floyd was a fighter Crawford studied closely, the one who helped shape parts of his style and mindset. But Crawford isn't just a mirror image of Mayweather. He's carved out his own identity. His brilliance lies in combining that same technical mastery with a level of switch-hitting aggression and finishing instinct that's uniquely his.
Wild, because like if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time.
Oh, yes.
That makes a difference to people.
Bud Crawford is a complete package, adaptable, unpredictable, and dangerous from either stance. He can switch it seamlessly, counter with precision, turn up the pressure when it's time to attack, or stay patient and calculated when the moment calls for it. And above all else, he's a closer. If he senses weakness, if he's got you hurt, he's not letting you off the hook.
I was excited to see Bud perform the way he performed against Canelo. I think boxing needed that fight. I think Bud showed up in the way he was supposed to. I think Canelo did as well, and the respect between the two men is what boxing is supposed to be. I can't talk about all the eras of boxing because I haven't seen them all, but I've seen Hagler Hearns, I've seen Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler. Like I've seen all those things, and those fights were wars. Floyd Mayweather is the best boxer I've ever seen. He's the most skilled boxer I've ever seen. Bud, and this is just my opinion, is the baddest man I've seen wear boxing gloves. And here's why I say that.
RC.
Here's why I say that. Bud is extremely skilled, right? Yet not as skilled as Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather made people look foolish, right? And so if I had to say who's the greatest I've seen, and Bud said it, right? The best of an era and the best of an era, it's Floyd. But when I watched Bud against Canelo, there was this extreme skill on display, and there was a level of crazy that's different. There was a level of, and Floyd's extremely tough. Go back to Shane Mosley and the 2 punches he landed early in the fight and the way that he embarrassed him. I'm not saying that Floyd's not tough, Floyd's not a bad man, but there was domination inside that ring we saw this weekend. And there's no fear in him in the way that he's attacked, gaining notoriety. Bud's been the baddest man for 12 years, but no one gave him credit because he didn't go tell you he was the baddest man. He didn't market that. He just went out and fought and beat people and knocked people out. So he had to move up and take the bigger fights and the better fights. And he was Errol Spence. We realized just how great he was. Canelo cemented him on what is the two-headed monster that marks the greatest of the 2000s. Floyd Mayweather is on that, and Bud Crawford is right next to him. I don't think we have to pick on who's better. I think they both dominated their eras equally.
Hold up, limitless, biggest to me can't pin in it. I fought the here to witness it.
Beating Canelo proved something monumental. Crawford's greatness isn't confined by weight divisions. He took the kind of gamble most fighters avoid, stepping up to face a naturally bigger, stronger opponent and still emerging dominant. That a level of risk Floyd never truly embraced. Mayweather was calculated, a master strategist who chose the perfect fights at the perfect moments. Crawford, on the other hand, walked straight into the flames and came out without a scratch.
Where does he rank now, all time? Ending this interview.
Number one, and the only one that he got at the top is Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Terence Crawford is this generation guy, you know what I'm saying, accomplishing all the goals that he accomplished.
Matched up? How do they match up, Floyd and Terence?
Hey, I'm like this, man. It's going to be great because Floyd, he's about his work. He put in work. We've been watching it for decades, you know what I'm saying? Him coming out of retirement to do this fight, that's a win for the whole world of boxing. Every generation from Floyd's generation to this generation to get to see it come. That's just like, we never get to see Michael Jordan play, right? But we remember when he used to play. Come on. So
when the two finally came face to face for the first time under bright, unforgiving lights, the tension was undeniable. For Crawford, it was a surreal full circle moment. The man he once studied, admired, and learned from now stood across from him as an opponent. For Mayweather, though, it hit differently. This wasn't another light-hearted exhibition against a YouTuber or past his prime MMA fighter. This was about pride, legacy, and validation, a chance to prove to the world and to himself that even after all these years, he's still the alpha in the ring.
I saw you before the fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists. You know, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
Stare down was brief, but it said everything words couldn't. Crawford stood composed and unshaken, his confidence radiating in silence. Mayweather had that familiar smirk, but behind his eyes, you could sense the weight of what this moment meant. If this fight happens, it's everything to him. Still, let's be real, this matchup doesn't carry the same stakes for both men. For Floyd, there's almost nothing to lose. He's pushing 50. If he somehow beats Crawford, he transcends legend. The man who went undefeated in his prime and returned decades later to dethrone the pound-for-pound king. And if he loses, no big deal. He's old, past his prime. People will just say, it was bound to happen someday.
Personally, I wouldn't be mad if I never see Terence fight again. The way he performed, getting ready to be 38, I think, in a few days. Man, what better way to go out? What better way to tell the game goodbye? What better way? Who you gonna fight? I was arguing with Max on the way to the venue about Boots Ennis. Nah, we don't go fight Canelo and then go back and fight Boots Ennis. I saw a report today, somebody was talking about him going up to light heavyweight. Nah, we don't go up to light heavyweight. We just went up 3 weight classes since the Spence fight and 2 weight classes since the Madrimov fight, my last fight.
That's a wrap for today's video. If you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's coming next. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your take. Stay locked in, and we'll see you in the next one.